The headline here is Woman Choked and Raped by Ex-Boyfriend After Dispatcher Informs Her There Are No Cops to Help and instead tells her to ask her attacker to leave. So this is out of Oregon, and we have the 911 call, at least a portion of the 911 call. That it's just horrible to listen to. So here, nightmare scenario. Michael Bella. Whoops. Come on. I'm trying to move my window here a little bit. And this is a photo of Mr. Bella. Was arrested in Oregon last August after he broke into his ex-girlfriend's house, choked, and raped the woman who was unable to get police to come. A terrified woman in Oregon dialed 911 to report that her violent ex-boyfriend is trying to break into her home, but in response, she was told there are no officers on duty to help her. The cash-strapped sheriff's department in the county had been forced to lay off 23 of its 29 deputies after losing millions in federal aid. The remaining 6 officers had their shifts slashed to 8 hours, Monday through Friday. So Saturday and Sunday, there's literally no law enforcement in the county from the sheriff's department. And a lot of rural areas, I know many of you live in cities, and so you have city police departments. But in a lot of rural areas, little local cities may have police departments to do law enforcement within the city borders, but the county generally is served by the elected county sheriff and the sheriff's deputies. That's it. There's no one else there. And sometimes it's not uncommon for there to be very large counties with maybe a couple of deputies on duty. Where are they going to be quick? Nowhere. Nowhere. And here, apparently, there's no deputies on duty all weekend. Unfortunately for the woman faced with an out-of-control, jilted lover, well, that's a nice way to describe a rapist, her 911 call came on a Saturday. Eventually, the crazed man forced his way into the house, choked his former girlfriend, and raped her without no one there to stop him. That's interesting grammar. The suspect, Michael Bella, was later arrested and pleaded guilty to kidnapping, assault, and sex abuse. The details of her horrific ordeal last August emerged on Tuesday after voters in her county with the lowest property taxes in the state turned down tax increases that would have increased the number of officers on the force. You might ask, why would they do that? Because the increase was going to more than double their property taxes. Even if the county residents were to approve the levy, which would have raised taxes from 59 cents to $1.48 per 1,000 of property value for the next 3 years, it would have been too late for that woman. Or is this another woman? No, this must be her. At 4:58 a.m. on August 18th, the woman called 911 to report an emergency. My ex-boyfriend's trying to break into my house. I'm not letting him in, but he's trying to break down the door, etc., etc., etc. More pictures of Mr. Bella. I used to have a police officer friend who used to call this the wearing of the baseball cap sideways. He used to call those slap caps because the degrees of rotation that the cap was being worn told you how hard you'd have to slap that person to get the hat straight on their head. The woman explained that her ex-boyfriend, Michael Bella, had put her in the hospital just weeks prior, and she'd been trying to keep him away because the number of deputies at the sheriff's department had been cut following the expiration of some kind of program. The remaining officers were only available 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Great. Since the report came on a Saturday, the dispatcher transferred the call to the state police, but the officer who picked up the phone at the Oregon State Police headquarters was not much help either. And some of this is quoting now the 911 call. So I'm going to play what I have of the 911 call. I saw a report that they had her on the phone for 10 minutes. The recording I have is only about 3.5 minutes long. So it's either a portion of a 911 call or there's multiple 911 calls I might aggregate 10 minutes. But it's pretty tough to listen to. And this woman did not have a gun. This woman was effectively helpless against this violent home intruder, presumably larger and stronger than she is, obviously more violent than she is. And without a gun, she was helpless. So let me pull this up. And yeah, it's very sad to listen to. Fair warning. Here we go. About 3.5 minutes.
911 emergency. My ex-boyfriend is trying to break into my house. I'm not letting him in, but he's like tried to break down the door and he's trying to break into one of the windows. He put me in the hospital a few weeks ago, and I've been trying to keep him away. I told him I was going to call. He's now trying to break in through the window. He's trying to jimmy it open.
Okay. Do you have anybody else in the house with you?
No, I don't.
Okay. Does he live there?
No, he does not.
Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have anybody to send out there.
Okay.
Obviously, if he comes inside the residence and assaults you, can you ask him to go away, or do you know if he's intoxicated or anything?
I've already asked him. I've already told him I was calling you. He's broken before, busted down my door, assaulted me. Yeah. So.
Is there any way you can safely leave the residence?
No, I can't, because he's blocking pretty much my only way out.
With a vehicle, or?
With the vehicle, and with himself at my front door also.
Okay, is there anybody that you can call to come over and help you, or do you have any friends?
He has sat there and destroyed my phone that had all of my contacts in it, because I have neighbors. Because he's done this. I can't get a hold of my neighbors. I don't know what the phone numbers are. I just had to get a new phone.
Okay. Well, the only thing I can do is give you some advice and call the sheriff's office tomorrow. Obviously, if he comes in and unfortunately has a weapon or is trying to cause you physical harm, that's a different story. The sheriff's office doesn't work up there. I don't have anybody to send, and we don't dispatch for him. Like I said, it's an unfortunate situation.
Okay, but I'll have to take care of myself, I guess.
Well, you have every right to do that. I can't tell you what to do, but is he still there?
Yes, he is.
Okay. All right. Well, do you want to stay on the phone with me until we figure out what he might do, or can you ask him to leave?
I asked him to leave a million times.
Okay, but he does not live there with you. Is that what you're saying?
He does not.
Okay. Has he lived there previously?
No.
Okay. Where is he now?
He's out by my bedroom window.
Does he know that you're on the phone?
I don't know. If I can hear him screaming and yelling, I think he can hear me on the phone. I told him I was going to.
Okay.
He says he doesn't care. He doesn't care because he knows that no one's out here, and so.
Yeah, and like I said, it's definitely unfortunate. What's his name?
Michael Bella.
Bella.
Bellah.
And how old is he?
He's 29.
Is he a white male?
Yes.
Do you know if there's anybody with him?
Oh, no, there's no one with him.
When did you guys break up?
We have broken up 5 zillion times, and he hurt me in the hospital a few weeks ago, and I've been trying to keep him alive.
Do you have a restraining order?
I do not, because he would leave me alone until basically on the weekends, and then he'd start.
If she had a restraining order, would it help? Right now? You think she's going to hold up a piece of paper and he's going to go away?
Just crap again.
Okay.
All right, and that's it for that. That's all I have of that particular horrific recording. The only thing that could help that woman in the moment is if she had the ability to physically defend herself against a stronger, larger male forcibly and unlawfully intruding into her home. Requests to stop attacking me are not going to do anything. Waiving a restraining order is not going to do anything. The only thing that can make a difference for her and her physical security in this scenario is for her to have a gun. And of course, Oregon is one of the states that's just hyper aggressive about passing all the usual pointless ineffective gun control laws they can possibly wish into creation, making it just all the more difficult for people like this woman to arm herself. More difficult, more time consuming, more costly, less effective. So, folks, you know, I do have to caution, guns are not for everybody. I don't know you. There are some people out there who may not be temperamentally suited or have their life situations are such that owning a gun is not a good choice for them. But if you're not one of those people, if you're a responsible, mentally sound American citizen, rule number one for physical security is have a gun. Have a gun. They're not that hard to learn how to use for self-defense purposes, especially within your home. Most people who successfully and lawfully defend themselves with a gun have effectively zero training. Now, I've got nothing against training. I advocate training. Get as much training as your life circumstances permit. But don't not get a gun until you've taken some $1,000 training course. That's crazy. Get the gun. Have the gun. Know how not to shoot yourself or other people unintentionally. That would be helpful. Know the 4 rules of gun safety. And I wouldn't wait to get it, because you don't get to pick when the crisis of the moment happens. You don't get to pick the time, place, and manner in which you're attacked or your home is violated. The bad guy gets to pick that.